Julie. Thank all of you. Thank all of you for living united in all that you do. We are so blessed in Pickens County. I have been principal over at Gettys. My name is Cory for the past 11 years. And I can tell you, your work in all these initiatives, not just the dollars and cents programs, but the success that Pickens County is seeing now is truly from the community's work, and I cannot thank you enough. Some of the most recent things I can tell you, Pickens County is celebrating 7 years of increases in the graduation rate. The previous year, 82%, the highest ever in Pickens County history. And I can remember folks in this room about 7, 8 years ago when I served on the Education Council with United Way, and Jay Swank and some of the other ones with doing that work. One of the main initiatives they started talking about was we got to do something about this graduation rate. That was 7, 8 years ago. And some of them may not even be with us now. But the work, the results are now being seen. IROC, one of the most innovative state programs, even at the middle school, a year from now, up 5 years from now, I will be getting the benefit of what has been done these past summers. We're talking about a tablet announcement, if you have seen, with the online. All middle school students in Pickens County getting devices, and not only a device, but if they are in the part of the county where maybe internet was not accessible, or maybe poverty was the barrier for them having internet, that has been removed. Pickens County is the only district in the nation receiving that AT&T grant, where not only students are getting the device, but they are getting the internet connection at home. And out of over 400 applicants, Pickens County being the only winner. That really is amazing. But I can tell you, when they come with that type of investment, they look through everything in a district, in a county, in a community, and everything I can trace back to the community support. Lots of schools you can go to, you can compare, there's a lot of similarities. But the difference with Pickens County was the community support that everywhere they went was overwhelming as they went about our county, and it really led us to that grant award. Thank you for living united in all of your occupations, your downtime, every single thing you do. I can tell you, though, we can't stop here. I mean, those are, every district, every county would love to just have one of those. I don't think Julie will let us stop here, you know. So, but seriously, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going like wildfire, and your support and efforts are leading the way. I want to talk specifically about the moneysmart program that we experienced at Gettys Middle School, an after-school program which also exists through a grant. We had a $800,000 grant to have students after school for a couple of hours. A great partnership. The YMCA is providing recreational activities. We're helping them with homework. They get a bus ride home. That's paid for. So we've removed every single excuse, and students can really get what they need. And I think Julie's right. I mean, it was sort of divine intervention here with everything coming together. I'll tell you some things, how I approached it from my perspective. I was just one little piece in this big puzzle. The AmeriCorps workers that are here did an amazing job in the United Way support of this program. But I think this will point to the importance of this now for our students, and not just the students, but really our community and nation. There has been a shift in public education, and probably for the past decade, it was test, test, test. And some teach to the test, test, test. And even the legislators at the federal level said, you know what, I think, you know, there's no child left behind stuff and all the testing, we've gotten this wrong. you know, there's more to it than just the test. So along came some work at the State Department in South Carolina, and something came out with the profile of the South Carolina graduate. It came from business and industry. It came from superintendents, State Department folks, but really the key thing was the input from the community, because they're receiving them, you know, after their educational years. And they said there's some areas we need to work on. So it looked at, when they leave the educational system, do they have the knowledge, the world-class knowledge? Not just South Carolina. I mean, they are competing on a global scale. Internationally, do they have what it takes? But also things like soft skills and where you encounter them. Can they be to work on time? Can they be dependable and honest? And the soft skills involved. So now it has changed. In the last year or so, it has changed more to looking beyond K through 12 and just what's happening in the school building, but beyond our walls. What is needed? What needs to be produced? And that's where the life skills came in. And that was the initial focus for us, is really thinking about what do students need? We can work to get them that job, to be a math major in college, or to have some career. But when that first paycheck comes in, what in the world do you do with it? You know, and how should you go about that spending? Times are changing, and let's just walk through some of these changes. Think of your retirement plan. This used to be just something dependent, maybe within your organization, and it was just, that pension was there, and it was coming to you. Those days are long gone. Now there's a lot of do-it-yourself. You're encouraged to jump in 401ks and other things, and you have to make these choices yourself. It's a little different. Social Security. In the past, people depended on Social Security. Social Security is estimated to possibly be depleted by 2033. So for our students, that's going to be on their horizon as well. People are living longer. So you have to think about, you know, I might have to think about 15 more years. And do I have the income flow to have a quality of life? Rising health care costs. You know, when the bills come in and hospital visitations, you know, can I even afford the things that are now encountering? Choices. Look at how many choices you have. All over the place. There's so many choices. It's pretty confusing for our families. Financial markets. Look how volatile financial markets are. Anything can pop on CNN today, and there's some economy somewhere crashing with the news as we approach the 15th anniversary of 9/11, and how quickly things can change for all of us. Used to be you pull out cash for everything. Now cash doesn't even exist, and everything is credit cards. Even at the school, most of our collections now is everything's just paid with credit cards online. Students, you know, don't even bring in the cash anymore. Purchases are online, where temptation lurks everywhere to just click on them, maybe even a card for jewelry. It makes it so easy to overspend, and you're not even aware. Do you have the resources to cover what you just clicked on? I've talked to the students. You know, in my time, it was sort of the nuclear arms race. It's a very different race now. It's a race of innovation. That's what IROC's about, being a state model. It's a race of knowledge and which nation is going to have it. It's about financial health. Which national power is going to be the most financially stable? Which ones will crumble? We want that to be the United States of America. And that plays a big part in it as well. Arnie Duncan, the Secretary of the Department of Education, talked on this topic. The level of financial literacy that 20, 30, or 40 years ago that maybe wasn't applied, that maybe produced some of this, but today it's absolutely necessary. We also have to consider, as Julie does her work and you do with United Way, the reality of our community. Large portion of our students and community quite simply lack the basic financial literacy knowledge that is needed in this new economy. Talk about the Bible, where the second most talked about topic over 800 times is on money and possessions. Wonder why? In a survey of young Americans, even though they may whip out that iPhone and they can do things with technology that they can fix every problem we run into as we hand our devices off to them and say, hey, fix this or program this for us. But it's also showing us that they are not financially capable as older Americans. And they can do all that, but this is an area of big need. There was a test internationally that was performed with students from all different countries on financial literacy topics. We were outperformed by Poland, New Zealand, Czech Republic, Belgium, Australia. The highest performing country, Shanghai, China. Again, we want that to be the United States of America, and you're helping us do it. With increasing debt, we must ensure that we are the strongest, most globally competitive economy and nation. Consider the cost of financial ignorance. If we cannot meet these goals for students in our community today, excessive fees and charges that simply could have been avoided. Cash advances. In 2001, 1 out of every 5 bankruptcies were for the age group 18 years to 24 years old. All of this really started me thinking, with that being the fastest growing demographic of bankruptcies, how are we preparing students? I mean, if I'm principal of this place, got 1,300 students coming through, even just personally in my town and community, what are we doing? As we have standards and tests and all these other things going on, but what are we doing about the students' financial knowledge? How do they even navigate this world, what we just described? Who teaches budgeting, balancing checkbooks, savings versus spending, wants versus needs, interest rates, loans, just taxes alone? So what can be done? Research will tell us that what United Way is doing in partnership with us is what you do. You start early. See, anything with money that's a behavior. It's not, a lot of states now have in high school, you have a class you have to take on this topic, but it's so much more than just the one class. You're talking about changing behaviors and decision making. It really needs to be a holistic approach over time and not just a one-shot class. That's where all of us are coming into play. With the help of Jeremy Price, United Way commitment, the Dollar and Cents Money Smart initiative is making sure at least 1,300 students at Gettys Middle School are starting to learn that. They have taught them all of those topics in that time, and they did all they can in that window, while also having beta programs and other things at that time that they're focused on, even with the adults. I can tell you, as principal of one of the largest schools in the state of South Carolina, I don't do my work alone. Every success is from partnerships, and that's why I love United Way, because that's what they're all about. And we love our partners. We can't do our work alone. I think of teachers. On this topic, 89% of teachers say this is a topic our students need. Over 60% of them, though, don't feel prepared that they're the ones to teach on this topic of financial literacy. You are truly impacting Gettys Middle School, and as you contribute to United Way was influencing us with their dollars and cents programs, and as their work showed us in an after-school program, after hours, when a lot of our students went home, that now has changed us in our school, and for the first time in my 11 years there, we have started a financial course for our students during the school day, having a high school credit course of financial literacy for 7th and 8th graders can enroll in that course, and that was simply from the results we saw from our AmeriCorps workers, Jeremy's work, and the United Way's support. Financial literacy impacts the daily lives of every student and everyone in our community. Think about when you help in financial literacy, the areas you're helping with. You are possibly making a family budget possible and doable, paycheck to paycheck. You may be helping someone in our community buy a home. You may help someone in Pickens County get their child's college education and be able to pay for it without student loan debts that they're entrapped with for years to come. You might ensure someone actually has income in retirement. Every step of the way, financial literacy is there. And when you teach students in a community on this topic, you're making all of those dreams a reality, and you're empowering our students and our families to accomplish those goals. Schools not only can prepare that academic content, but we need United Way business partners, support from the community to accomplish these types of goals. If you have donated $1, volunteered an hour as you live United, maybe you just made a financial designation to some educational program and maybe you weren't sure exactly where it ended up. These are just some great examples of you today. And I can tell you on behalf of Pickens County, our students, and our teachers, that impact will go long beyond all of us and the thing we think it's impacting. This impacts, even on financial literacy. It is teaching a lesson. So maybe our middle school students, when they become parents, it's teaching them different decision makings that is impacting their children and generations to come. Thank you so much for your contributions, your support of United Way and the School District Pickens County. I can tell you firsthand, it is truly making all the difference. Thank you so much.